Domestic cattle populations in West Africa are essentially two subspecies, including zebu and bulls. The predominant zebu in the dry north are sensitive to trypanosomiasis and other tick-borne diseases. Meanwhile, bulls form the majority of herds in the southern and wetter areas, which are infested with tsetse flies, trypanosomiasis vectors. The southward migration of non-trypanotolerant zebus in search of pasture and past actions of Sahelian nomad breeders threaten the genetic integrity of these humpless bulls of West Africa.
Regarding the features of these trypanotolerant bovine breeds, we have to look at it from a morphological standpoint. These are breeds with no humps, which are extremely small and with extremely low dairy or fodder productivity. These breeds are currently left aside by the populations. There is more and more crossbreeding, which results in the gradual extension of these breeds. Yet these breeds are really valuable to us because they can withstand the animal African trypanosomiasis. This is why we designed this project with the objective to preserve and add value to these trypanotolerant bovine breed in our West African subregion.
Aware of this threat of the disappearance of the cattle herds, the CORAF WECARD set up the project entitled The Introgression of the Sahelian zebu cattle into the trypanotolerant bug population in West Africa. This 3-year-long project is being carried out in 3 West African countries: Burkina Faso through the INERA, Benin through the INRAB, and Mali, the IPR-IFRA, with involvement of the CERIDA, a Spanish organization. It is coordinated by the African International Research Center, CIRDES, in Burkina Faso and the Endemic Livestock Management Project in West Africa, PROGEB. The project noted the active involvement of governmental organizations, NGOs, breeders' associations in the formulation, implementation and dissemination of the project outcomes.
Le projet en tant que tel n'a pas pour objectif de lutter contre la maladie.
The objective of the project is not to fight against the disease, but instead to make a diagnosis and see which breeds can resist the disease and those more sensitive to it, and from there propose disease management strategies. The overall objective is to propose strategies for a better management of the cattle, especially in terms of crossbreeding, which is really important because we are seeing a division of our breeds. Like I said, the trypanotolerant breeds have an important feature, which is to resist the disease. If we crossbreed with other breeds that are sensitive to the disease without any control, we may have a hard time to keep animals in the areas with mosquitoes and animal trypanosomiasis.
Annual economic losses related to trypanosomiasis in the livestock sector are estimated at $50 billion in Africa. It is therefore considered as one of the root causes of hunger and poverty in most sub-Saharan Africa. For all these reasons, the possibility of using and conserving trypanotolerant livestock is a key element in reducing poverty in West African countries.
Cette exploitation familiale est une exploitation que le chef de famille...
This smallholder farm is a farm whose chief had retired. He used to sell his cattle to meet his needs, but thanks to the training as part of integration and the swap of the blood of these animals, he made sure he got quality beasts and learned techniques to better feed them. He used to take 15 to 20 liters of milk to the dairy, but now he sends more than 70 liters, which enables him to have more than 350,000 CFA francs in cash per month from processing units.
This permet d'avoir mensuellement plus de 350 000 francs en espèces au niveau des unités de transformation.
Tous ceux qui avaient laissé les animaux qui partent tourner revenir, ils ont commencé à vouloir faire la sédentarisation.
All those who used to let their cattle move around have now decided to have them settle here because of the outcomes. The beasts are here on the spot, and there is a good monitoring. So, concretely speaking, this was a plus, and we are still on the lookout for opportunities under the project, namely in terms of training assistance so you can bridge the gap and make of them breeders worthy of the name and committed to working.
Vraiment se trouver pour que ce soit des éleveurs pilotes dignes du nom, engagés à faire le travail.
Multi-Donor Trust Fund, MDTF, of a total cost of $650,000, this project has produced highly appreciated results.
Aujourd'hui, nous avons pu donc
We were able to come up with a sub-regional strategic paper for genetic improvement, and this document has even been extended to North and Central African countries. From 3 countries at its inception, CORAF was able to extend the project to 11 other countries from Central and North Africa. The document now encompasses this African region, and very shortly we'll have a workshop for this document to be validated and put at the disposal of the different countries and the regional economic communities.
The capacity building component is not left behind. 452 project beneficiaries in the 3 intervention countries received short-term training on breed management. Among the beneficiaries, the gender issue has been positioned with 102 women participants representing 23% of the population who actively took part to these training sessions. Women are in charge of milk treatment and the selling of the milk. This is beneficial for them. Women have acquired new knowledge while being with different actors of the platform and have easily integrated the market. Thanks to the milk processing, the living conditions of the women have been improved, and I'm delighted to see this platform here. Similarly, 4 students completed their long-term training. 2 students are holders of bachelors in Burkina Faso, whereas the others just completed a Master's of Science in Benin.
En termes de notre session de formation, nous avons acquis...
During the training session, we acquired some knowledge in terms of morphologic and morphobiometric characterization of local bovine breeds. As part of this training, we conducted some body and head measurements to characterize and have an idea on local breeds in Burkina Faso and crossed breeds, in other words, European breeds and those from the area.
Pendant la formation, nous avons eu à visiter.
During the training, we were able to visit some farms to have a better idea of the systems they developed, and from there, we could come up with our input to improve both the breeds and the systems.
Apporter notre connaissance pour pouvoir améliorer les races et puis le système également.
The project also focused on disseminating knowledge to breeders and academic communities. Some rational husbandry practices allowing farmers with poor resources to have a reflex in trypanotolerant cattle sustainable management have been disseminated. Moreover, a scientific article has been submitted to the Tropical Animal Health and Production Review.
À l'issue de ce projet, ce qui m'a semblé très étonnant, c'est que les producteurs sont très engagés.
At project completion, the most striking thing to me was that the producers were highly committed to embracing new technologies, quite often in terms of feeding and cattle management techniques. I also noticed that we learned a lot from them. They had an intervention method that was almost similar to what we proposed to them. It's all about how to put together and how to organize our ideas.
D'organisation.
Overall, the project outcomes are beneficial for target groups because the use of trypanotolerant cattle significantly reduces the use of chemical products and brushing to control trypanosomiasis vector and parasites. This contributes positively to the restoration of balanced ecosystem and preserves global genetic and environmental diversity. In addition, the project provided relevant recommendations to the governments of the 3 countries on the sustainable management and conservation of trypanotolerant cattle.